Hello and welcome to Pro Trader Strategies Market Commentary for Monday, July the 24th. My name is Eric Wilkinson. Some of you may recognize me as the Wolfman from CNBC, Fox Business, or even the Wall Street Journal for my commentary on everything from economic to geopolitical and market analysis. Please keep in mind that everything that we talk about in these market commentaries is not a solicitation to buy or sell any of these securities or strategies. At the end of the day, we're here to teach you some different strategies you can implement into your portfolios, but please do that in your own way. The reason why I can't give you a recommendation on a particular stock or strategy is because I don't know your risk parameters. I don't know what's in your portfolios, and therefore what I'm doing could be counterintuitive to what you are already doing. And please remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. Having all that out of the way, let's get it on. We've got actually some pretty good data coming out today. I mean, good as in a list of, but did not come out as expectations were kind of, set up for. So we got across the pond flash manufacturing PMI for the French came in a little bit higher than expected at 55.4, was expected to be 54.6. But then on the flip side, we got the French flash services PMI, which is Purchasing Managers Index, came in at 55.9, expected to be 56.6. Lower than expected there. German flash manufacturing PMI came in lower than expected at 58.3, expected 59.1. The European region flash PMI came in at 56.8, was expected to be 57.3. German flash services PMI also came in at 53.5, lower than the expected 54.4. And then we also got here in the United States, our flash PMI, which isn't very widely looked at because the more valid or more valuable data comes from the Institute for Supply Management, which is the ISM. But we did get ours. It's a little bit of a precursor possibly. So 53.2, expected to be 52.3. So. But not really widely looked at here. Existing home sales came in at 5.52 million units, expected to be 5.59 million units, so lower than expected there. So a lot of this data coming out today not looking so rosy, and especially ahead of the FOMC meeting that we're getting on Wednesday, expected to not change rates. I don't foresee them changing rates either or raising them at all. So just to keep that in mind going forward, could see a little bit of jockeying back and forth as people hedge up positions ahead of that news. Then on to the overall market, we've got crude oil moving higher today by about 47 cents, right back to the point of control. Did test that 61 fib level. It's not out of the woods yet. It's going to act as support, but I think the target really is right down here at around the $43 a barrel mark. So that's, I think, going to be the next stop on it. We might get a little bit of a bounce. There's a lot of fodder going back and forth with the Saudis, talking about production cuts and things of that nature. They, believe me, they're keeping an eye on the charts as well, and probably see the same thing we're all seeing, is that it's in a pretty bad negative trend, and want to try and prop that up any way they can. Onto gold futures, it's kind of topping out here. Funny thing, I was going back and forth on Twitter with the stalwart for Bloomberg, talking about gold and people wanting to invest in gold and stuff like that as the safe haven asset. And at the end of the day, the gold futures really are only a indication of what real tangible gold is valued at. If you're investing in gold as a safe haven, and if anything ever happens and you try and get that money or try and get those gold bars, you're not going to get them. Believe me, I've tried and know many people that have tried, and they will not release that gold to you. Anyway, on to bonds. Bonds are starting to come off. We talked about this on Friday, that there was some fear around the debt ceiling. A little bit of that kind of coming back. It's a little overdone as far as I'm concerned, but bonds are down about 0.5 point on the day. Dow Jones off a little bit today. I talked about this. I've got a really short leash on my synthetic long in DIA. I haven't covered it yet, but I'm very close to pulling the ripcord on that trade and getting out of it. So just keep your eyes out on Twitter. I might be tweeting that out later, but I haven't done anything as of yet, but still very itchy trigger finger on that one. We've got the NASDAQ up higher on the day. The tech sector really moving, whereas the rest of the Dow Jones, the blue chips are kind of suffering from that. Basically, people rolling out of those safe havens and into a little bit more risky aspect of the spectrum. But with the E-mini S&Ps off on the day, so we got a real mixed bag. Dow down, E-mini S&Ps down, NASDAQ up. Tesla's up big too, so Tesla could be driving that market as well. But E-mini S&P is slightly off on the day, and we check out the 30-minute chart of the E-mini S&Ps inside day. Just not a lot of range going on, although we're slightly negative on the day. For all intents and purposes, we're right inside of what we were doing on Friday. So just pretty boring market. Anyway, on to the things that I've done with TLT. This is a trade that I put on as a bearish trade. If you guys remember, I was looking at TLT to want to come down and trade in the 121s. I thought it would come down here and test this point of control, because that's basically where the value is. The debt ceiling kind of bucked that for me. Didn't allow that trade to come to fruition. So with TLT, if you guys remember, I had on the July 125 121 put spread in there, so it was a long put spread. It paid about $2 for that trade. Let that expire, basically worthless. So that trade did not work out. There's a couple other ones, and I'm sorry I didn't write them down on Friday, the ones that were going to expire. I just remember TLT being one of those thorns in my side, and so that one stuck out to me. But a couple of other ones kind of expired as well. So and I didn't write those down, so I'm not exactly sure what all was in there. Then on to the trades that I've added. XLK, which is the technology sector ETF. Now with the NASDAQ pushing higher, I think that they might see a little bit of a rotation more back into the tech stocks. So I decided to take advantage of that with high implied volatility in and around XLK. It also has gotten back up into this trend area, so I think that we could see it continue to trend a little bit higher and sideways, if nothing else. And if it does that, then I'll benefit from my August 56 puts that I got short, sold them for 33 cents. So that's about all I've done today. Kind of pretty quiet day so far, but later on this afternoon we are going to be looking at different earnings trades. A lot of big companies coming out today with earnings. We've got Google or Alphabet coming out, so both of those can be played. We also have Seagate, which is another one that I'm probably not going to play around with, but definitely going to be looking at McDonald's, GM, and the other one, Caterpillar. So I'm going to be looking at all of those for earnings trades, see which ones set up the best. Most likely play Google and McDonald's and possibly Caterpillar. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Check it out. Go to Twitter at Wolfman's blog. You can find out which trades I'm going to be doing for these earnings, and go to ProTraderStrategies.com, because we're doing this little segment on straddles with no upside or downside risk. So we just did the one with the no upside risk on Friday, so you can get that sent to you via email, or check out the one on Friday, which is going to be the straddle with no downside risk. And in a trending market sideways, like we've kind of seen the equities do pretty much recently, moving sideways, this is going to be a good one, but we'll be protected on the downside in case of a correction. All right, so check that out at ProTraderStrategies.com, and if you can't take that, take it easy.